Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Avengers Twilight Issue 2. Really like this cover with, like, the classic Iron Man armor. It really works very well. And it also helps that Iron Man kind of becomes the focus towards the end of this issue. So, we had last seen that Steve was back on the scene, and we pretty much start off seeing him kind of getting back into action. We see that the Iron Cops are pretty much going after this dude, Brian Welford, and they're pretty much going to take him back to some kind of place. They're just like, he's saying, I can't go back. Well, tough shit. Nobody wants you out here, so best put you where no one sees. As we see someone comes to his aid, he says, please don't hurt me. And it's like, it's okay. It's all going to be okay now. As we see Cap coming out and offering him a hand. Ooh. Light's going a little bit weird. But yeah, I really love that shot of him just standing there with his hand out to him, just trying to help him. So we start back off, and granted, I didn't realize that when we were seeing these kind of like news things, that these were the new kind of Avengers, but we see that they were on the scene rescuing people trapped by the fire, that they'll bring updates. So we see Captain Marvel, Captain America, and Iron Man helping out there. As we see that in a local bar, they're like, that ain't Cap. Oh, here we go again. It ain't. Reginald retired, let it go, Rhonda. He didn't. I'm telling you, I've been hearing things. Cap's back. Stop the cops from roughing up old Brian. Save some girl who was being harassed down at the docks. Oh yeah? And why ain't the news reporting it? Ain't no news anymore, man. And I kind of like that. It's almost similar to it reminds me of kind of like a Batman thing. Like, you got to hear what's kind of going on. He's like back and everything. It's like, yeah, but this is like the opposite, where like he's trying to help and everything. Like, well, I mean, Batman does try to help. But this is more like, okay, these are the kind of little things that he's doing, where Batman's more thing of inspiring terror and stopping criminals that way. But of course, we see Luke kind of hearing everything. It's like, alright, we'll see how this kind of works out. And then we see Steve pretty much figuring out what's kind of going on with the play with the Defenders and what's kind of going on. So he asks what the play is. Government has complete control over what everyone sees. That means there are almost zero live events that can be disrupted, and sporting events are far too secure in their arenas and parks. So New Year's Eve is in Times Square is the perfect opportunity to pretty much get to one of their remote news station sites. That they've got, one of them has been working on a device that'll override it. Let's see, and pretty much put out like the greatest hits of the atrocities that they're pulling. And of course, Steve's like, I'm more used to winning things on battlefields. And then of course, they're like, the battlefield is the mind of Americans, Cap. The government and corporations have been feeding them lies for so long that nobody sees what we've seen. People being displaced, arrested for minor infractions. Nobody is allowed to record anything. Nobody is allowed to step out of line. We've been running our pirate radio shows, but not enough people even know about them to hear what we're saying. This is our big chance. There's an illusion of freedom, Steve, and we need to shatter it. It's like, alright. Completely agree with you, Luke. And then, of course, talking about how America's been committing atrocities across the globe using their Avengers. Nobody even knows about it. Okay, I'm aboard. Cap? We brought her in. She's in room C. Thanks, Luis. And then Luke's like, Steve, I know you want to help everyone, but our secret underground base is getting full. I can't just leave them out there, Luke. The cops will hunt them down. Yeah, I know, but I get it. The focus is bigger. I only need to go above ground one more time to do some recruiting. All right, man, good luck. And then we see that they brought Rose in, and she's pissed. And Steve's like, ugh, shit. And the art just really works very well of seeing, like, we see the kind of, like, her kind of anger outlines, and Steve's kind of like, ugh, shit. She's like, sorry, you go and blow up my life. Rosa, it all happened so fast. I didn't mean to, as she then smacks him, and saying that you never mean to, you just act, and anyone in your orbit is collateral damage to your fucking moral stances. Rosa, I'm sorry, I'll make things right. I can't go home, I can't go to work, I'll make myself useful since I'm trapped here. I'm pretty sure you'll all need medical attention at some point, but you and me, we're through. So fight your war, Steve. It's all you know how to do. It's like, damn. I'm trying to figure out what is going to be the deal with her. Because because I really... Now, granted, we've only seen her in the domestic kind of setting in the first issue, and then her being pissed off here, like getting dragged to an underground resistance kind of thing, kind of get the reaction, but we'll kind of have to see how this works out. Then we get a very interesting interaction between James, Jarvis, and the President, as they're pretty much appraising him of the situation, asking if it's really him, the original Cap. Yeah, old man freaked on TV with me, then went and took some swings at cops. Looks like he got recruited by those underground losers. I would not classify the Defenders as losers, James. Resistance grows, unless you crush it. So should we call them the Avengers? The last thing we need is some accidental footage of our Captain America punching a geriatric soldier. No, we'll send in the Thunderbolts on American soil. It's like, yep. See, that's the thing. It's like, shit. Now we got the Black Ops. Like, it's pretty bad when you're like, we don't want an international incident with the Avengers on American soil, but it's like, let's just use the Thunderbolts. Why not? They're Americans. Just seeing James's face, it's like, shit. He's just like, yep. And the President's like, I won't let you do this, Jarvis. And it's like, this is a very strange Jarvis. Then he won't start a war, as Stark's laughing. What's about to happen? Who do you think you are? I'm the President. Frankly, you're just some CEO. I'm the CEO. Help of America. And you're just the mascot. It's like, yep, we know who's in charge now. And the thing is, we learn more about this Jarvis CEO as we go through this issue, and it kind of makes sense as we see how he's acting and the colors kind of associated with him. Here's the secret to the Secret Service. They work for us. You know damn well you work for us too. It's our money that put you in this seat. We'll take care of Steve Rogers for you. You're welcome. And it's just like, yep, that's definitely how it would go. And then someone's like shipping out immediately as we pretty much get them getting the Thunderbolts together. Mainly Bullseye being the one that we like hook up with as our kind of entry point into this. Let's see. Saying that the sources are that terrorists are planning an attack on New Year's Eve. New York, too, going to be hard to secure the area. Wait, this is, as they see that it's Captain America, the original, saying he's gone rogue. This isn't your entire team, is it, McGinty? Looks like you're down, too. They're doing a run in the hills, sir. We'll update them. Damn it! Bullseye, get your ass down here. I told you to only shoot at designated targets. Yes, sir. I know the drill. Point me where you want my bullets. What's going on down there? Well, from what I gathered from lip reading, they're sending the Thunderbolts after Steve Rogers. Holy shit, for real? That guy's a legend. My dad served because of him. Not sure how I feel about this, Ramona. Doesn't matter how you feel. We don't protect Captain America, we protect America. History's full of heroes going bad. Our job is to find them and neutralize them. And it's like, okay, that definitely gives us the idea of what's going on with the Thunderbolts. They're just the ones that'll neutralize any kind of threat. They don't care what goes on. It'll be interesting to see what other kind of Thunderbolts pop up, because at this point it just seems to be Bullseye. That's the one that's kind of doing kind of things. So we shift over and we see that Steve is going on his recruitment run, and we're like, who the hell's this? The bus is going to leave, and I'm not driving you to school again. They won't leave. They won't leave. Calm down, Mom. Have a good day. I love you. I said I love you. Yeah, we heard. Peace at last. And then there's like a fire in the Appalachians. Captain America had this to say about the rumors. I can't confirm or deny our actions overseas, but I will say that the Avengers will go wherever people are in danger. It's the American way. Ain't that the truth? He gives a good speech. Hi, Kamala. I need your help. As we see that Steve is going after Kamala Khan to recruit her. And she's like, what the fuck's kind of going on here? And he says, like, I know you have a life and loved ones to protect, but I wouldn't be here if it wasn't important. There's so few of us left, and you're one of the best. The Avengers need to. Those are the Avengers, Steve. We lost. We lost everything on H-Day. I can't believe you'd come here, and I have a family. You can't do this. You can't ask this of me. Kamala, I'm sorry. I truly am. Right now, it's just me and Luke and some kids, older than yours, but still just kids, calling themselves Defenders, fighting for a world where they don't have to be scared anymore. And I like Steve going through with this. It's interesting to see Kamala in the position where she's got kids and she's got other things to think about, since in the main kind of continuity, she's pretty much teen level, getting into like early adulthood and everything. Here, she's like, you always have to think about that, because the call to action for heroes, usually we see it when they're young, trying to like help out and change the world. Sometimes it comes when you're an adult, you've got kids, and you've got to weigh those pros and cons. But Steve's like, yeah, he weighed the pros and cons, and he also made decisions that affected Rosa as well. And it's like, it kind of sucks, but he takes responsibility. We need you to fight so your children won't have to. So I don't know who you're talking about. Get out. Get out. The kids, these defenders, they've opened my eyes to what's really going on out there. But they've also told me stories of people helping each other against the system of tyrants. People housing others, protecting them. There's even been some reports of people being saved by a giant hand, like the hand of God. Can you believe it? And of course, that's Steve's way of being like, I understand that you're doing stuff, Kamala. The Dark Avengers protocol are in effect if you need to get in touch. Goodbye, Kamala. And then we see her shift and that she has been doing stuff. But this is a whole other level. This low-level kind of stuff, Spidey street-level kind of stuff where you can get away, kind of go into the darkness. This is an escalation of that. Bigger kind of thing, taking on the system in a different kind of way. And then we see her kind of doing this kind of stuff. Police presence in Queens is high today. If you get harassed, make some noise. The defenders will be patrolling from the shadows, and we'll do our best to help. It's not fair to Kamala to ask her to destroy her life, like I've done. I tell myself it's not just my anger at long-gone friends being forgotten, or the government taking what they stood for and subverting it for power. But it's hard to reconcile the plight of the downtrodden with the smiling faces of the crowd oblivious to what's happening. And I like that kind of juxtaposition is happening. That he and the heroes got screwed over, and even though this is a horrible kind of world, there are people that are accepting of that kind of world, that they're smiling, that they're oblivious to what's happening. So let's fill them in. And that's the thing. Steve's not there to shit and piss and be an asshole about it. He's like, fill them in. Give them the truth. How's it going down there, Amy? So far, so good so far. The police are focused on the talent, so no one's protecting the broadcast trailers. We won't even need to get inside, just tap into the external pipeline. And they're like getting ready to kind of get into that. But before some iron cops kind of see what's kind of going on, they're like, shit, hold them off for 2 minutes. And of course that starts like doing everything down. Steve's like, I was hoping to sit this one out, keep things covert. But of course we start seeing gunfire going on, and those are Thunderbolt troops as they're kind of popping on, because the one that saw them was an Iron Cop, but then we start seeing the Thunderbolts kind of popping in, and of course he's like, one of the defenders is like, we need help, here we go, as we see Steve running into action. I really like the art here, man. I like the art, and I like the changing of the different kind of paneling. You always want to look for that kind of stuff in comics, because I don't mind the kind of grid layout and the usual traditional kind of stuff, but I like when they kind of mix it up a little bit, like in this page right here. Let's see if you remember what to do, old man, during times of war, as he pretty much starts taking him out. Even with the re-upped super soldier serum, my knee isn't what it once was. And then of course we got the one dude with the broadcast switch, and Cap trying to juggle it. I love the art of him like, shit. Still a few minutes before I can switch it over to our footage. Damn it, no shield. So I need to be, as one of them gets hit, and him just being like, oh god. I really like the look there. It's like, shit. Because the new Cap's got the shield. And this then starts throwing Steve off a lot. He's like, nope. There are hundreds of innocent people here. As he like cracks one out. He's like, okay, he was in it before, but now his kind of anger at seeing that has kind of focused him more, as he just starts kind of like taking him down tactically. Bullseye, you on him or what? Damn it, Jones, answer me. Got you, old man. As she's pretty much getting ready to shoot at him. But as we see it kind of going in, she doesn't go for him. She shoots the broadcast switch. Stand down, Thunderbolts. The situation is going out live to the world, and we just shot a civilian. Damn it, maybe there's a way Tyler can manually broadcast the video, or Cap, we're live. And they were still able to kind of get to it. And I like this shot here, Steve, with the mic getting ready to speak. And he's like, my name is Steve Rogers. You know who I am, and you know what I stand for. Your government has stolen away your freedom. The Watcher Act isn't there to protect you. It isn't there to protect your privacy. It's there to protect them. to make it so you never see what they're doing to the world, to the disenfranchised. It's so light never shines on their crimes, so you never see the helpless people who suffer in order for you to thrive. That's not who we are. We're Americans. We look out for people. We don't turn our backs. And now that you know, you can begin to be free again. Sir, are you seeing this? Should we take him out? No, I don't think that's necessary. Together, we can fight back. We can. I think he's doing a good enough job of it himself, as we see that this isn't going exactly as Steve and the Defenders would plan. Help people. What's Cap? Come on, we gotta move. Sir, do we have permission to engage the hostiles? Network HQ has managed to root out the hacker's code. There's no eyes on us. So put him down, Thunderbolts. You're the man. Put him down. And as they're able to go through and get on some motorcycles. Steve and motorcycles, man. But we see that one of the Defenders gets hit, but Steve's able to drive by and pick him up. No time for rest, soldier. We've still got miles to go. Bullseye, what are you doing? Take the shot. But we see that Bullseye doesn't. Interesting. We might have another recruit. Seeing what's going on with Steve. It's like, alright. We then shift over and we see James trying to utilize the information that he got from his father. And it's really kind of interesting. I love the kind of look of the kind of work area he's got there and all the different kind of Ironman suits. And of course, he's talking about how his dad cracked a couple of issues he was having with the new armor. It'll take a while to make more, but in a few months we'll have enough for the army. Excellent news, son. But I don't want those suits for the army. I want them for you. Wait, what? We've been over this, Jarvis. I'm not my dad. I don't want to wear those fucking murder machines. I know, James, but things have changed. Steve Rogers is a dog with a bone, and the only thing that will cause him to misstep is knowing his friend's son is inside that machine. And hearing that, you're like, okay, this Jarvis doesn't give a shit. It's going to utilize pretty much Tony's son to go against Steve like that. Iron Man is your destiny, James. Tony Stark and Janet Van Dyne didn't sire a fool, and I didn't raise a coward. It's like, no, you're trying to pretty much utilize him as a fucking meat shield to get to Steve. And then we get a really interesting conversation here as we learn more about what's going on. Someone says you're losing control as we see that somebody was going through dressed as a S.H.I.E.L.D. person, and we see them looking at the dead body, I think, of Doctor Strange. Looks like the cloak of levitation and everything. Hardly. There are bumps along the way, but if there's one thing I've learned from you, it's patience. You didn't have enough of it on H-Day, and so you lost. They take off their headgear. I watched you lose and thought to myself, as we see the Red Skull with Ultron's head. It's like, what the fuck? As we see that works with the motif of his red glasses, his red and black kind of suit. How does a robot not have patience? I'm forever, Skull, but every second is an infinity. You're losing control, and I need you alive in order to fulfill your end of the deal, to free me from your crude prison. So evidently, the Red Skull has pretty much imprisoned Ultron and is using him to keep control of the world like this. It's like, interesting. We'll have to see how this kind of works out. I didn't know who would be the kind of main big bad, but if you're doing an old man Steve Rogers fighting an old man Red Skull, utilizing a imprisoned Ultron is definitely an interesting and appropriate story beat to go with. Having your head on ice has been a greater boon than even Stark's, and a deal is a deal, robot. Once I set this world into shape and am ready to depart it, let the robots have their way with it for millennia. Let Ultron bring Earth into the next era of greatness. So, it's pretty much like, I get to go away and do whatever the fuck I want, and then you can have this shit that's left over. It's like, yeah, that's probably not going to work very well. And then we see the kind of fallout of Steve's big speech and them trying to give information to the masses. But of course, since everything's been tightly controlled and corporate controlled and government controlled, it doesn't work out quite as planned. And of course, Luke's getting a status update. Nothing, Mr. Cage. I mean, it was obvious that the news stations weren't going to suddenly go pro-Cap, but nobody was swayed by his speech. I've been monitoring some chatter and other defenders are bringing back stories, but if anything, people are more against him and us than ever. I told Cap the reaction, and I don't think he's taking it well. Yeah, That tracks. Keep monitoring and let me know if anything changes. It's like, yeah, this is the hard fight. Like, you can punch and, like, take things to the battlefield, but this is where it is really hard to get with. Steve, how are you? I'm a fool, Luke. I thought I could just tell people what's happening, and they'd believe me, join the fight. I thought that their freedoms meant something to them. I thought the flag that I wear meant something to people. As we see Luke just smack him in the back of the head and be like, no, it's not that easy. Shut up. We don't have time for your sad American dream speeches. We don't do this shit to be liked. We do it because it's right. Bad people are doing bad things, so we stop them. Yeah, it would be easier if the world was with us, but we'll do it on our own if we have to, like always. Damn straight, Luke. Honestly, yes. I mean, it's complicated, but it's also that simple at the same time. Or maybe not. It took my guys months, but we finally got the inside scoop on their secret weapon. We need help? Well then, let's get it. From the world's smartest man, Tony Stark. And it's like, oh shit. So now they know that Tony's alive, so that's going to change up things. And I like seeing the art for Cap's new outfit. It's like, yes. And then we see a kind of little preview for the Kamala cover for the issue 3, book 3. With you, I can do anything. So, I really enjoyed this one because I liked seeing Steve kind of back in action, how he's kind of doing it, how it's kind of making some rippling waves, and that's the thing. Luke's more into that kind of pulse of what's going on, and you always have to watch out for people's sentiments because, of course, it's going to be the louder ones are going to speak because that's how it kind of amplifies and everything. But you don't know what it's like on the ground because that's where Luke's kind of positioning is, and we see that there's even one person in the bar. It's like, Cap's back. Original one. And I like seeing him work with the Defenders, him going to Kamala, and he asks her for help. Kamala's like, I'm not doing that shit. And I understand that because of her new life, how she's been doing stuff kind of behind the scenes to be kind of lower key and not going full bore at the system because that's a different fight, a different kind of escalation. That, of course, makes sense why at the end they're like, well, if we're going to do this and do this ourselves, we're going to need we're going to need help. So get to Tony. Get that out. Cut that off. Ultron and the Red Skull not having that. And I like that reveal that it's Ultron and the Red Skull that are working in tandem and doing this. That makes perfect sense, especially since Ultron was linked up with the whole H-Day, and evidently, even though it went kind of more towards his side, it really didn't work out completely because he still got fucked over and got captured by the Red Skull. So I can't wait to see where this kind of goes, how Steve deals with this failure and kind of changes it around to see how they can change up sentiment and what other kind of heroes they will go for and try and get onto their side. I think that Bullseye from the Thunderbolts will actually turncoat and kind of come and help them. And, of course, we'll see Kamala probably pop up because she's on the cover. We just don't know how much of an involvement she'll have. But I'm liking this so far, and I can't wait to see what kind of goes on and how Steve gets through this. Where this kind of endgame is going to go. This is an interesting kind of world, and an interesting, hopefully they keep this around as a universe to kind of explore because they could do some interesting stories with this. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.